Hello and welcome to Thor-is-testing on this fine late summer day here in Sweden. Finally we have got back from vacation and Corona vacation, or what you want to call it, and we can make some more tests up here in Sweden. I have not been allowed into Sweden for the last more than half a year, so it has been it's been a long time. So it's until I could come up here in my cabin again, but finally we are back, and now we are gonna make some tests. And second of all, excuse my fingers here, it is blueberry season. As you can see here, I've been out picking blueberries, great blueberries, and it's just the season, and they're sweet and they're just great. So my fingers are black or blue, or what you call them, purple, from all the things. Okay, today we are going to test a knife. We're going to test a knife from Denmark. It's called, it's a small company called Fenris Arms, like Fenris the wolf. And we are going to test their Triton knife. And this is it. This is a great, stable knife here. And I'm just enjoying having it with me. And I have been using it here for the last weekend. And it's just, I'm amazed, it's great. I just think it's great. But first of all, some stats on it, specifications. It has a 120mm blade. It's like standard Buchcraft knife, I think. And the whole length of it is 230. The width of the blade is 4mm. So it has some punch to it. It is full tang, as you can see here, and it has a small drop point. It has a huge flat grind, as you can see, all from the top all the way down, with a very small sharp bell wedge, and it comes out of the package pretty sharp, in my opinion. I actually don't know the weight of this thing, and I don't have a weight up here in Sweden, so I'm gonna wait when I get back, and I'm gonna put it in the comments below how much it weighs. But my guess is between 200 and 300 grams. It has some punch to it, that's for sure. As you can see here, the blade is coated, and it is a very, very extremely good coating. I have been using, as I said, a lot here. I've been making my Buchcraft project and all, and you cannot see it at all, and I think that's great. That's really, really cool. I think that's a great coat. The kydex, the sheath is a kydex sheath with this kind of belt loop here sitting on back of it, and it is when we first see one of these, if you don't know them, they're kind of special because you can just click a button here, and then you can put it in your belt, and you can lock it like this and lock it again, and then it will not go out. The great thing about this is that you can actually turn it the which way you want it, and when you buy them from the store, it is made to have in your belt like this as a standard, but I always like a side drawer, so I have changed it, so I have it on the side like this. I just think it's much better, but that's just for me. The knife goes great in here, and it fits perfectly. You have a little thumb here button, so it's easy to take it out. Okay, before we start testing here, there's a couple of things that I would like to show you about the knife. First of all, it has a great hold here. It fits perfectly in my hand anyhow. But then you have a secondary hold, and that's when you make the finer cuts. You can put your index finger out here and your thumb up on this, I don't know what's it called, but thumb guard up here, and then you have a very, very nice hold when you make the final works. Also, it has a loop here for a cordage or a lanyard, and it can also be used to, as a hammer or break things with. So I think that's pretty cool, but anyhow, let's see how it does at some chopping and batoning here. And let's start with piece of birch like this. Actually, I'm just gonna use my Buchcraft project here today and see if we can't. And this, like I said, it was a 4mm blade here, and it plows through this like no problem. And you can see here it works very well in making this kindle with the knife here. And you can make the smaller and you can make the bigger. It's up to you. But anyhow, as you can see here, it works very well and it's easy to use. I have another piece of wood here, and I think it is, I don't know what it's called in English, it's an elm tree or something like that. Let's see how it does. And it works well also, as you can see here, to make the kindle and to get into the, or if you want to get into the dry piece of wood here, if it is wet or anything like that, you can easily get in and make your kindle and make your fire starters or feather sticks. So this is an excellent knife for this kind of work. No problem there. Let's see how it does at some batoning. As I said, it has some punch to it, it has some weight to it. Let's see how it does at this old piece of birch here. And let's see here. Of course, it's not like one of the great heavy 20 centimeter blade knives, but as you can see here, it does make some pretty nice, decent cuts into this birch, and you can actually see here that it has no problem in chopping a piece of wood like this. That was the batoning and chopping. Let's see how it does at some carving here. At this piece of birch here, and I'm just gonna see. This is an old dry piece of wood here, and as you can see here, it is excellent sharp, and it actually has no problem in carving this piece of, sorry, oh, it's just somebody. It has no problem carving this piece of wood here. As you can see, it does it nicely, and it is sharp and no problem at all. It's actually easy to work with, even though it has all these knots on this piece of wood here. It actually works very well, and you have no problem in making notches and sharpen or what you want with this knife. So that's cool. Let's see how it does at some feather sticks here. And I have been making a couple here, and it is actually also very gentle in this part and very nice to work with. See if I can make. It's always with feather stick. It's always the start. If you have to start, it goes like a charm. But it's always to get it started. That's the whole point in feather sticks. But as you can see here, it actually works very, very well also with the finer shavings, and no problem there. And as you can see here, I have made a couple when I was sitting here, and it works very well, and it has no problem in making these. Also, it has a very nice sharp back to it, both for the firesteel, but also if you want to do some of these, some like to do these shavings for as a fire starter. And as you can see here, it works very well on this also. It has no problem in making these shavings with this hard sharp back. Okay, I think it's about that. Yeah, well, I just wanted to show you my my Buchcraft project for today. I needed my new hammer, so I found myself a piece of oak. Always good to use hardwood, and make myself a new club here. The old one was very mashed up, so a new hammer here. It is always good to have, and easy to make, and an excellent tool to have with you. Okay, the last thing I wanted to do was see how it does at some making fire, and for this I have my piece of birch here, and see how it does at some making the scrapings here on this piece of birch bark. And as you can see here, it works well. And I have my old trusted piece here, and let's see how it does. Yeah. It was no problem at all. And see if we can get a fire in one of these Feathersticks. And now you have an excellent match for making a fire. So also here it was no problem at all making this, making fire with this knife. Okay, I think that's about it for this Triton from Fenris arm. I think in conclusion that this is a great knife. Full tang knife, flat, a flat grind here is not usual what you normally see, but anyhow I think it works fine with this. It have a very wide blade, and it's thick, and it can be used both for the harder work or and the more fine work. I think that's great. I have been enjoying using this, and it has just been a thrill to work with. I like the Kydex sheet. Normally I don't think the Kydex sheets are the best sheath in the world, but actually I think this works very fine. And also the combination that you can make it a side draw here, I think that's great. I love the side draw in knives, so I think that's great. And all in all, for a price of just around 70 euros, I think this is a great price for a knife in this caliber. You get an excellent knife for 70 euros here. I think that's a great buy. Before I just stop, I wanted to show that this Fenris also makes a very cool pocket knife that I'm gonna test here. So this is gonna be one of my next projects, to test their pocket knife. I think it's a very cool little pocket knife, so I'm gonna be looking forward to testing that. Sorry. It was not corona, it was just something in my throat. Anyhow, that's it for today. I think I am gonna prepare the blueberries for the eatings and for jam. And until next time, see you later. Bye.